And we're back after a long hiatus.
Not the truth.
Just life just stops you sometimes. Last weekend I was sick. I'm still sick, so
Sick
it's
as a dog.
yeah. I mean, it just happens sometimes. We're gonna try to get back at things again. One of the weekends I was working, and the other one you weren't available, and then I was sick,
hmm
and I'm still kind of sick. So I mean, life just happens.
Life has a funny way of just causing all sorts of problems.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a few topics, since I mean we can't cover everything that's been happening in the last 3 weeks. That's impossible, especially in
That's
internet
just not gonna happen.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
like covering stuff like the Serena Williams stuff, or it would be just too much
there's too
to
much to
cover
get
up.
caught up on. So we're just gonna focus on the stuff that's really, really recent.
Yeah, and things that I mean we are interested in, and I think it's interesting to talk about. So that's what
hmm
we're gonna focus on today. So you suggested as an opening topic, you wanted to talk about the online of
Nintendo
Nintendo.
Online, yes.
Yeah.
So there's been a fair amount of controversy as of late with Nintendo Online because of the way that they are handling uh, cloud backups of your game saves. Because currently,
Oh,
there
yeah, I
is
caught
no
that.
on the Nintendo Switch. There's currently no way to back up your save games if you lose your if you lose the if you lose your Switch or your console dies, your game saves are gone. So Nintendo's offering, their Nintendo Online for $20 a year for a single person. I mean, it's not a. It's actually a pretty good price for an online service. But at the same time, the issue people are less than thrilled because that's the only way to back up your game saves. And if you're late by 5 days, they'll delete your saves.
Yeah, forever.
Pretty much.
And not all game saves are compatible with
Correct.
as far as I understood it. There are I don't know if it's the biggest games, but I think
Splatoon 2 does not allow
I think
you to
Zelda
back
was
up the game
also
save.
was Zelda.
Zelda's one of the ones that will let you,
Okay.
but
I
Skyrim will not. Even though the console versions of Skyrim on the PS4 and Xbox One will.
hmm. um because I was just listening to all of the gaming controversies the last few days, and I thought Zelda was one of the games, but
I could be
it's
wrong.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I could be wrong as well, but just I think Nintendo does a lot of sorry. Uh, I mean, sometimes they do really good stuff in regards to consumers and just gamers in general, and sometimes they just do very complicated and very hard for consumers to enjoy the products,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one of them. To make it so complicated to be able to just save your game. I mean, how hard should it be? I mean, even with the PlayStation 2, you could just switch memory cards. I mean,
Right. Well, and that's the other thing. If there were a way to back up your game saves to the SD card slot,
yeah,
there would be no issues. It'd be like, okay, cool, whatever. All right, we're good.
yeah, and just add like five save slots to the game,
Yeah,
and
or
you
yeah, or like put it on the game. Yeah, absolutely. No reason
so
why they can't. But it's interesting because Nintendo has all for the last, I would say, 15, almost 20 years, Nintendo has really done their own thing. They haven't tried to compete with Sony. They haven't tried to compete with Microsoft. The GameCube kind of competed with Sony a little bit, but not to the same degree. They still had a very family centric focus.
Yeah. I mean, just generally, it's just very confusing sometimes what they're doing. Like sometimes they artificially do uh, do like they did with Wii and the Amiibo. Is artificial do the demands on
Hmm.
or selling too few of them, and it makes a hysteria instead of just making a decent amount of the product, and people really want it. Think that's
Nintendo's a
really
very
scummy.
boomer bust company, isn't it?
Yeah. So sometimes it's just yeah. Frost just came in here because
Hello.
I asked him to if he wanted to come in. We're talking about Nintendo Online. I don't know if you've caught controversy regarding that. Frost.
Frost? Where's the frost? Oh, oh, signs of life.
I'm sorry, guys. 1 second. I'm getting some stuff together.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
there we go.
Okay. All right.
There we go. Yeah.
So I thought he died. Yeah, but in regards to just artificially controlling the market like that, that is just really scummy. And I mean, I've seen some stuff on Twitter this week. It's not one of our topics of discussion, but the PlayStation retro
Classic,
being
yeah, the
announced.
PlayStation Classic.
But
You,
I
I thought it was a prank at first. I thought it was an Onion article or something like that.
yeah, but what I saw was really interesting. People were basically lambasting it from what I saw on my timeline. But I didn't see any of that in regards to Nintendo. I mean, everyone, oh, and Sony needs to get backward compatibility, but Nintendo hasn't done that.
The only
I
reason
mean,
why people harp about that on the PS4 is because Microsoft has done it with the Xbox One.
exactly. And
And for the prior generations, there are some very good games in the PS2 and PS3 era that I would say are worth having backwards compatibility to your PS4, especially for the PS2 games.
yeah, I agree. But I mean, I just saw lambasting towards that product. I mean, it's also a little bit scummy to have the power supply sold separately. But
What?
yeah, it's sold separately. But uh,
Are they trying to pull a potato moto?
yeah, I don't know. But I didn't see this controversy with the NES Classic and the SNES Classic because I don't know, maybe people had uh, too much nostalgia involved with those. And
The
I
NES
mean,
Classic and the SNES Classic were not quite the same in terms of like controversy. But they had their own. Specifically, the NES Classic was the worst offender for this, just being sold out everywhere and and Nintendo not manufacturing enough to
yeah,
satisfy demand.
that's exactly my problem with them. I mean, make enough for your customers. Jesus Christ, how hard is it?
Apparently, it's pretty tough for Nintendo.
Yeah, and no, just the problem in regards to people were in outrage. Oh, why? I mean, Nintendo could have also done backwards compatibility with the Switch. I mean, there were 20 million players who could have easily have been playing their old Wii U games, but they're re-releasing them on the Switch, and they're selling like hotcakes now. I mean,
Well, the reason why they're re-releasing them is because they went to a cartridge-based system for the Switch instead of a disc-based system.
I know, but you could have still. I mean, if you still owned the game
I'm
on the
back.
Wii U, I mean, even digitally, you should have been able to play it on the Switch.
That's something Nintendo has
Can you guys
never
hear
been
me?
able to do right. Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can hear. So it's just it's a little bit of a hypocrisy that I see with this. I mean, I give them all a pass. I mean, if you like it, buy it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. But don't be selective in your outrage. That's all I ask.
Yeah,
See,
that's
the
fair.
thing about the Switch is, I see that they went back to a cartridge-based system, but they could have at least had some type of disc reader utility, so you can use your old games. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe it's not worth developing, but I think it is because that would also sell like hotcakes.
yeah.
Well, part of the problem they ran into is that they did not have an install base on the Wii U to warrant such a device. The Wii U, I think the Wii U is going to be a collector's item simply because it flopped and because it did not sell well.
Yeah.
And like we saw that, the Dreamcast sold relatively well, all things considered, but it was considered a retail flop.
I mean, the main thing I'm considering it for though is the GameCube because that
Yeah,
was like that was the opposite. That was like one of Nintendo's biggest systems.
the GameCube did very well. I will agree with you on that.
Wasn't it the second, not number two, that generation?
I think it was third generation because there was
No, that generation. I mean, that generation of consoles between GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox, and the
uh
Dreamcast.
The
Wasn't it
Dreamcast was
second?
kind of a little bit before the
Yeah,
GameCube
it
and
was.
original
Yeah,
Xbox.
it was kind of weird. It was kind of in the middle, but I would still count it towards that generation.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, even though it's kind of today it would be kind of looked at as a PlayStation Pro or an Xbox One X, something like that, something in between generations. But
Yeah,
it's still part of a generation. I would say.
hmm that's fair.
Do you have any thoughts on the online capabilities in regards to them not having backup saves on the Switch, Frost?
See, I was always a person that had been used to like cartridges and stuff, so I was used to saving my own games. But I think if you're gonna have like games tied to an online service or games that can only be accessed from online, that should be a thing. I don't know particularly how games on the Switch operate when it comes down to their functionality.
So I can answer that one right now for you. The way the Switch handles game saves, it's stored on the console, and you cannot make backups to SD or USB. The only way to get them off the console at this point in time is through Nintendo Online.
Which I think is not really a solution.
Oh, and by the way, if you let your account lapse by a couple days, you have 5 days to re-up or they delete your save files.
Yeah, they need to either find a physical or a online solution to that problem.
Yeah, and that's been the main complaint so far with Nintendo Online. Everything else is like fine, really. I mean, you get classic NES games that rotate in and out Netflix style. You've got there was something else that was included with it as well, and I can't remember what. But yeah, for like $20 a year, you could do a family plan for 30 a year and get up to 5 accounts. So I mean, it was like there was some. It had some very smart. There are some good things to it. It's just not all of it is quite up to snuff.
Very user friendly.
Yeah, consumer friendly
Nintendo
more like.
Nintendo has been known as like the most consumer friendly of the
And anti-consumer friendly at the same time.
yeah. Like they give you exactly like they always give you like complete products, but at the same time it's like they don't want you to ever do anything that might hurt their bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
and they're egregious with it too. It's just like, I don't know. I think sometimes Nintendo is onto something by sticking to kind of like the old traditions of making and releasing video games, but at the same time, when it comes down to their um, consumer policies and how they interact with their customers, there needs to be something updated there.
It's kind of a funny hit or miss with Nintendo.
Yeah, they're basically like a dinosaur.
Yeah. Anywho, I think we've covered this one
Yeah, I
far
was
enough.
about to say that. So the next topic, I sent Frost all the topics. So the next
Cool.
one is something I've been diving into lately. It's Disney's has been doing quite a lot lately, and so I don't know if you saw this. They released the trailer for Captain Marvel, and they also said that they were gonna release fewer Star Wars movies. So this comes from Bob Iger, the CEO and president of Disney itself. And he's basically
Well,
superseding Kathleen Kennedy and saying,
well,
bitch, you need to sort your shit out." And
Let me show you how a
well.
man does it.
yeah, but ju- just to give you some information, because I've been very well into the Star Wars community, and just looking up all the information that's been coming out the last few months, which has been very interesting. Because Ryan Johnson has gone after YouTubers on Twitter and bashing fans, calling everyone else man babies, while he's going after people who are just talking about Star Wars on YouTube. Most famous one was Geeks and Gamers and Mike Zero. He went after those two, and it's also rumored Kathleen Kennedy is gonna be fired in 8 days. Uh,
Hell of a
because
rumor.
well, it's because she's gonna get her Oscar, honorary Oscar, and that's her way out of the Star Wars franchise, to make her go out and bow out gracefully, because September 29th is their fiscal year of Disney.
Bitch
So
doesn't need
Oh.
gracefulness. She needs to get her shit together. That's what she needs.
yeah, and that's why no, it's not been confirmed. It's just a rumor for now, and so they're
Mhm.
giving her the Oscar, make her basically bow out in grace, and they're gonna find someone else to run Lucasfilm, and most likely Ryan Johnson's trilogy is also gonna be cancelled if Kathleen Kennedy disappears.
I believe it.
So
I
that's why I see the sign with Bob Iger saying, "We're gonna slow down the production of Star Wars movies." You know, basically saying, "Get your shit together." And I read that as a sign, as maybe she's on her way out.
I think they need to leave the Star Wars movies alone and concentrate on the animated series because that's doing pretty well, and it doesn't have all this controversy bullshit that the other ones are generating.
That is true. That is very true.
I think they need to step away from like the father son of Luke and what happens to his family and look at like the other stories like Snoke. Why the fuck doesn't he have a movie?
Yeah, like the thing that always bugged me was the just how they brought in all these characters without really telling. Like, bear in mind, I've not seen The Last Jedi, and I have no interest in seeing The
Don't do
Last Jedi.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
Their scope seems to be very narrow when it comes down to the movies.
The thing that's been rumored for the longest time is an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, and that's the only movie people have wanted since Disney bought Star Wars, and they're not making one. That and Old Republic, and for some
Yep.
reason they're not making either a mini series or a movie about those two. I don't know why. It's something the fans actually want. Except what we get is The Last Jedi and a Han Solo movie we didn't even want.
I
yeah.
was watching the animated cartoon, the Clone Wars series.
Mhm.
That's excellent.
It was Darth Maul, It was
Yeah.
going over kind of like what happened in that time period where he killed Qui-Gon,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and he kind of went off the charts and got his own apprentice and stuff like that. Like that was an interesting story, and it wasn't like it was different from the normal Star Wars, as in it was closer to like the Sith's Apprentice, where it was dark and gritty, and it showed that Darth Maul wasn't just this evil like side character. Basically, he wasn't just a henchman of the Sith. He actually had like his own concerns and stuff like that. And I
Yeah,
think
I recommend anyone to watch Clone Wars because it's such a great series. I mean, the first two seasons are basically world building and character development, but after season two, just goes holy crap. And you see the things you never thought they were going to see. And of course, Lucas Film and Disney, thanks Catherine Kennedy, they cancelled that series, even though they had like two seasons mapped out.
it was really
Beyond.
popular too.
Yeah, exactly. And Catherine Shannon, it's George Lucas stuff. We're just gonna cut it out and we start anew.
But can you imagine how many movies they can make out of that series?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Like
I mean
that's
it's canon.
billions of dollars.
Yeah, I mean it's canon. So and. And I mean, they are returning to it, and also what I saw from just Disney doing the Captain Marvel, like I'm not gonna do the whole conspiracy theory. Oh, Captain Marvel is gonna be SGW and pro women, and I've seen people
I'll
hailing
wait
it
until
as
it comes out and then I'll
yeah,
make my.
exactly. I've seen people. Oh, it's the first female superhero, and did you forget about Elektra and Wonder Woman? Like seriously. And
And Wonder Woman was last year.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
You're
exactly.
like, I'm sorry, did you forget about 2017 entirely? I get that Trump is the devil for you guys, but I mean, you can't forget an entire year that quickly.
Humans are notoriously short-sighted.
Yeah, but just from watching that trailer, it just looked boring to me. I don't know what's going on. And Alison Brie, the person playing Captain Marvel, just looks so bored. Like she has the same facial expression in every screenshot of that
So
trailer.
she's basically like the girl who played Bella from Twilight. She has the
Yeah,
same
yeah. They
expressions and
said
everything.
I saw it in the comment section. Oh, they went so they couldn't get Kristen Stewart to play a Captain Marvel, so they got Alison Brie. so they had,
Zing!
so they had the same emotional range, and like it could be an amazing movie. It's all up in the air, but from what I saw, it's like I don't really care about that movie. It had some kick-ass music, and it's cool what they did with Nick Fury and his de-aging CGI looked cool. But yeah, I'll wait and see. I'm not gonna go into conspiracy territory with that. I don't know how about you guys.
We'll see how it pans out. Frankly, I don't really have a whole lot of interest in most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like it'll be the occasional movie here and there that catches my attention, like Doctor Strange, for example, or what was the other one that I really liked? Like Iron Man 3. Like I'll watch I'll watch part of the MCU here and there and enjoy it, but then that's really all that really catches my attention.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. I'm seeing some comments on the stream. I think we have to adjust them. The car 454 says Disney murdered Star Wars. She doesn't deserve an Oscar. She deserved a swift kick in the ass. They should have never struck out the original canon. The better question is why are they pandering to SGWs instead of actual fans? That's a very good question.
I think Calvin can offer that to her for 5 cents. Bless you.
Sorry,
I mean,
thank you.
I mean, yeah, she doesn't deserve an Oscar. She, after, and anyone who hasn't seen The Last Jedi so far, please stay away as far as you can from that movie.
I got everything learned everything I needed to know about the upcoming about this new Star Wars trilogy from The Force Awakens.
yeah, and that's fair enough. And
The only thing good that came out of that was memes.
Yeah.
well, the prequel memes still rule supreme over the new sequel.
This is
trilogy.
very true. It's telling when people are talking about Revenge of the Sith in higher regard than The Last Jedi. I mean, that's saying something.
I mean, I have a very unpopular opinion. I'll stand up to it to anyone, but I think personally, Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie. I know it's very
I
very
will
unpopular.
fight you for that.
I know it's very unpopular. I know people always say A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back, but
See, I like Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I just think Revenge of the Sith is awesome. But I mean, I mean the vast minority to like those movies. But just should we move on to the next topic? We still have a few topics. So, next topic is I've seen large disappointments from the Halo fandom because not Bungie, 343, sorry. They've added microtransactions, and
They haven't officially added them. It's that there's a job posting that asked for somebody with experience in developing games with microtransactions.
No, because they also termed Halo as a live service.
Yes.
So they're gonna add microtransaction. It's not 100% confirmed, as you said, but it's most likely gonna be added.
All the signs point to it.
Yeah.
It's the big thing.
Frost, are you a fan of Halo? Frost?
Frosty.
Sorry, come again?
Are you a fan of Halo?
Yep.
And what do you think of them potentially adding microtransactions?
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, no, nobody likes that stuff.
See, the only way that they could pull it off with any reasonable semblance of success is if they were to offer the base gameplay experience for free. If they're charging $60 and then tacking on microtransactions on top of it, they'll get some money, but they will fail.
The problem with Halo, like they even had this problem before with DLC, would be the map packs splitting people up. Like I think it was Halo 3 or whatever. The most popular map was only in a DLC pack, and then it was only in a particular pack at the same time.
It was part of the Halo 3 ODST multiplayer disc, is what it was.
Yeah,
I know it when you're talking about it. Yeah, it was part of the ODST multiplayer.
Yep.
So there was this massive run for ODST, which nobody played the campaign for that because why would they?
Don't get me wrong, I like the campaign for that.
It wasn't bad, but that was not the reason why people bought it. Like people did not buy that game for the campaign, and you know I'm right.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar. I watched all the cinematics for all the Halo games, and it's a really interesting story. And I played 1, 2, and 3. Mostly multiplayer with friends. I played the first one, the single player campaign on the original Xbox, and so I am somewhat familiar with Halo, but I don't have really an investment in Xbox exclusives, at least at the moment, and in that franchise. And
I would say the best way for them to do this would be for people to be able to taxi you into maps if you're in the same squad.
That would be one way to work around it, and then you could then also put then with the added benefit of, oh hey, you were playing on this map. Do you like this map? It's part of this pack. Spend $4.99. You've got yourself a nice little marketing opportunity. Plus,
Yeah.
plus you got to try before you
But
buy.
then it's not microtransactions; it's DLC.
Right.
I'm
And
not
it's something
against
like
the
that.
DLC. It's just I'm against DLC that splits up the player base and the player experience,
hmm
because then that forces an investment from someone just to be able to properly enjoy the game. Especially if, like in the ODST multiplayer maps, there's one particular map that's better than most of the others, and that's the map which people
Right.
play on.
And
Well, and
we also have a
question for you,
certified.
Frost. Did you play El Dorito at all?
El Dorito?
The Halo Online uh,
Um,
hack that was put out that had that patch update a couple months ago and people lost their shit.
oh no, I didn't play that one.
Okay, I did. I did get a chance to try it out. It was kind of funny. The official server browser that they had set up in game was got overloaded so quickly that people were setting up their own server browsers on web pages, and you just navigate to the IP address instead. But there were over 60,000 people playing worldwide consistently on this Halo. It was Halo Online, which was a free to play that was in prototype. Only saw a limited beta in the Russian market of all places. But it was based off of the Halo 3 multiplayer. Canceled after the beta. This group of people spent a shit ton of time reverse engineering it. It laid dormant for like 3 years. Like, not even kidding. Like, there was the time delta between this most recent patch update and the last one was like 2.5, almost 3 years. It was ridiculous. But the patch was so well done that the community was all like, "Hell yeah, Halo multiplayer! This is awesome! On Halo multiplayer on PC, this is awesome! Let's have fun!" And people were having a blast with it. And what was interesting about it was, like, it was entirely meant to run like as a free thing. Like, they weren't going to try and get money out of it. I'm going to bet pesos to dollars Halo Infinite was the result of El Dorito, because Microsoft had to send a C&D to protect their licenses. They had to protect their IP, and you can't fault them for that. And what's interesting about this is the response from 343 after El Dorito was actually was one that was very positive with regards to Halo Online. Like, they liked what they saw, and they wanted to make something out of it. I think this Halo Infinite is probably the result of that. But what I would want to see out of Halo for like their like for microtransactions, if they're gonna do it, I would want to see like cosmetic bundles. Get this particular armor set that you can add to your customization loadout.
Just like, don't do it pay to win. Do DLC and a fair DLC.
Take
And,
some notes from Warframe.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, if they implement, I don't care if they even have to implement like a crafting system that stops people from just like instantly, just unlocking everything and using it instantly. Like, give players something to do, because that's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember in Halo Reach, Halo 3 ODST, all of those, they had like a multitude of different cosmetics you could get for your chief.
As you played, you would unlock different chest, shoulder, arm, leg pieces, and helmets based on completing specific objectives.
Yeah,
it's and that was brilliant. I will agree with you on that.
Put that in the game. Put like, when you kill a certain amount of people, you get an item, and you have to collect certain items in order to craft a new helmet or a new emblem or something.
Or have it as a drop. Have like a 5 to 10% drop chance for these different items.
It's
where those items would drop from a specific map. Map.
Here's a cool skull helmet. You can only get it by doing headshots, and it has like a 15% chance to drop on headshots.
Or say do 500, get 500 headshots, get the skull helmet.
Yeah, it's
That'd be
like,
cool, and that would
and
incentivize people to play. Or if you don't want to wait, you can spend $2.
yeah,
Get it now, and then you've got people that can grind it out, or you can work your way up to, oh hey,
and a
now I've
lot
got.
of people will look at it like, oh, it's only $2. I'll just get it now, and they'll keep doing that because they don't mind spending. Like, to most people, $2 is a pittance,
Mhm.
but when you're constantly charging, you're like, oh, this is $2. Oh, this is $2. Oh, this is $2. But you're gonna get a whole bunch of crap that you may or may not want. People don't like that. It's like,
Exactly.
I would rather pay $10 for something that included some mediocre stuff that I was okay with and something that I really, really wanted than paying $4 for something and most of it was garbage and only one thing was what I wanted.
Right. Or and to
Because
go
then I
back
still
to
have
your
options.
and to go back to the looting mechanic, you could set up where certain maps will have parts for, like, say for the carbine, have a special covenant teal and purple skin for the UNSC carbine, and you
I've
would have
seen
to get you'd have to get a barrel, a stock, a receiver, and they would only drop from certain maps.
I see in
And
the
then
chat
there's the
just just quick as seeing in the chat, the same guy said you shouldn't have to buy DLC for to experience the full game, which is a
yeah.
good thing.
Yes.
I
Yes,
think DLC
absolutely.
should be completely optional, but if you do purchase DLC, it should also change the game in a way that's meaningful.
Yes.
If
And
it does change the gameplay experience, like, say, like, I would say convenience features that aren't needed, but
think
they
and
just
that's the
enhance
interesting
your
thing about Warframe, is that Warframe has created a microtransaction system that is completely player friendly. And I'll be honest, I've bought plat with no intent of using it in the near future.
yeah.
Like, I'll get like a deal sort of thing, or oh hey, I'm going to go pick up some plat, and oh hey, now I'm supporting the developers.
You're echoing a little bit, Frost.
I was gonna say, like, that's one thing I've had a lot of people in my clan do that. Just they pick up if they get like a coupon or something, and they're
Yeah.
like, they don't even spend it. It's just to support the game.
Yeah, I mean, I got a 50% off coupon. I went and did the $50 bundle, for $25, because I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna support them. I had extra money in my PayPal balance, so I didn't really care. So I was like, okay.
All right, I think we can move on to the next topic, which is kind of what we talked about with Red Dead Online, to be rolled out like they did with the GTA Online, and they said they're gonna do uh, exactly what we are suggesting they should do, not split the player base with their updates like they did with the GTA Online. They're not gonna split the player base. They're gonna continuously roll out updates, and they're still gonna roll out updates for GTA 5 as well, and make people just enjoy the online. And if I don't know if they're gonna add these shark cards or whatever, but in reality these shark cards don't really do anything except for you are able to buy these expensive apartments and houses and expensive cars
Dude,
in GTA.
the money grind in GTA Online is ridiculous. Shark cards are, if we want to talk about predatory practices, I would say the shark cards are one of the most predatory of all the DLC microtransaction practices we've seen out there.
I haven't played in like
I
say,
I wouldn't I
year.
wouldn't I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far because I've seen much worse. But as far as like
Okay,
from
okay,
mainstream,
I will give you DOA 5 last round. I'll give you that one.
no, there's worse. Trust me, there is worse.
Okay, I'll give you Star Wars Battlefront 2.
There's
Okay.
worse. Imagine having to spend like $2,000 on an armor set that you didn't need to pay additional money to upgrade, and that's going to cost you another like $12,000. Cold
What
hard
game is that?
cash. Yeah. You ever played Perfect World International?
No, that's
There are
why.
people that literally blow their tax returns in that game, and they're still not competitive. Yeah,
It's Star Citizen, right?
it's that bad. Star
Um,
Citizen isn't even out yet. This game has been active for years.
yeah, I just think if because I said I haven't played GTA Online in a really long time, but back then I thought it was really fair with how you got money, but they might have balanced things out. On the PS4, it was fairly good to get money, but I mean they could have changed it for online. I don't know because I just stopped playing right after the heists came out. So I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit ignorant on the topic. Do we want to move on to the next topic?
Sure.
All right. You wanted to talk about this
Yeah,
DDR?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, which is the headline of this stream. Spider-Man breaks records, and it's the fastest or it's fastest selling game Sony ever. What
It
wasn't that?
broke records. 3.3 million copies sold in 72 hours.
That's
And
insane.
that beat God of War's 3.1.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's even, and that's, and if, as I recall, that's actually higher than Call of Duty as well.
Yeah, that
No.
might
Um, no.
not the
What was
record.
let me look up Modern Warfare 2 real quick.
I don't think it's faster than Modern Warfare 2. It might be faster than the other COD games.
Let's see. Because I know Modern Warfare 2 beat uh Avatar to $1 billion in or to $1 billion in revenue. Let's see here. The
Yeah, I mean Avatar.
release.
Avatar
Here we
spent
go.
weeks upon weeks to get.
Okay, I take it back. Modern Warfare 2 sold 4.7 million units in the United States and UK combined in the first 24 hours of release.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest games ever.
Yeah.
So
Total revenue from first day sales in the US and UK was $310 million. Okay, I stand corrected. But still, for a single platform, 3.3 million in 72 hours is no small feat.
yeah, you have to
Considering,
remember that one platform. It's one
let me
platform.
see here if I can get the. Okay, so 4.2 million units sold for Xbox 360, 1.87 million for PS3, and that was just the month of November 2009. Yeah, for a single platform, that's a pretty impressive for Spider-Man to do as well as it has. I mean that's pretty impressive and good on Infinity Ward for that one, or not. That wasn't Infinity Ward. That was no, it was Insomniac.
Are they making a comeback?
I hope they do, because the way that I've watched a couple of streamers play Spider-Man, and it looks like a lot of fun. Like if it does not quite look like the it looks like a little bit like the Arkham games, but a little bit different.
Someone said a interesting comment about it, that it's the open world game for people who don't like open world games.
That's a very interesting way of looking at it. I agree with it though. From what I've seen, I'll agree with that.
I'm gonna buy it down the line when I get fed up playing PES all day. But but yeah, I think Spider-Man looks amazing. Same with God of War. There are some games I'm gonna get on sale in the future. But right now, I am just too busy with. I still have a major backlog, and right now I'm busy with that one game. So yeah, I mean it's just great to hear Insomniac. I mean they took a major risk in this day and age
They
to
did.
have a triple A game Now I've heard it's short. It's about 40 hours if you do everything in the game. But everything in the game is so solid. They got all the mechanics right. I think I saw 10 reviews of the game, and all of them basically said the same. It's a really solid game. You feel like Spider-Man. They nailed the swinging of the game.
Yeah,
They
the web slinging, like just swinging through New York City, looks fantastic. It really
Yeah, and the
does.
story was solid. The mechanics were solid. The AI might be a little bit stupid, and the game might be a little bit short. That's the only negative I heard. It was a little bit easy, and the AI was a little bit stupid.
You're
Otherwise,
a little bit easy and stupid.
no, you.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah, so I mean it's great to hear that just when we hear so much negativity in gaming, like we said with Star Citizen just all the we're gonna dive into the big topic in a little bit, but all the negativity within gaming, and it's just nice to see that. Also, when we saw Cory Balrog earlier this year, he cried when he saw the reviews of his game. He basically sacrificed everything and laid everything on the line with God of War, and it
Yeah.
paid off. I mean, it's nice to see Sony supporting developers and especially single player games, which fuck you AI are not dead. So
Yeah.
just a little tangent. Just saw a trailer of the new Assassin's Creed, and they're also completely doubling down on the single player bit. They're gonna do weekly challenges. They're gonna continue with story modes. I mean, I think developers have realized single players are not a dead. That forum for games. It's not only multiplayer games that are worth making in this day and age.
Single player games are still good, assuming you plan to actually release a full game.
Yes.
If you
EA does.
actually release content, it can be single player games are really good. But if you plan on half assing content, releasing half the story, not really putting any work into your game, then you need a multiplayer to make sure that it sustains itself. Because otherwise, people are going to shit all over your game, and rightfully so.
Mhm. Exactly.
But I think people are getting used to that, and they're now realizing that games that are choosing to go multiplayer only are kind of just copping out for content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can move on to kind of the big topic. So it's twofold. So the big topic is basically all of the world is basically telling EA to
Shove it.
go fuck themselves, and there's also censorship now in Battlefield 5. I think we can do the Battlefield 5 bit because it's a little bit of a smaller topic in regards to EA, but
Yeah.
Dice have censored the word white man DLC, and what was the last word? I think those were the two big things that they
The two
censored.
big ones were the big ones. But what's interesting is that if you put free in front of DLC, then
Yeah.
it works just fine.
And if you put black instead of white, it doesn't get censored.
Right.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It's kind of a weird thing, and it raises a lot of eyebrows, especially when it comes to. I find word censorship to be kind of a funny thing in games, especially when it happens for nonsense reasons.
I mean, you can just put your own goddamn filter in the game. Why does the developer even need to do that stuff? It's so unnecessary.
Well, it's that actually. I'm reminded of a thing from a game that I used to play called Holic Online. It was way back in the day. It had served as a long shot off. It was one of those Korean grindfest MMOs, kind of a cutesy, chibi anime style. Anyways, if you would say "you can always," it would censor out part of "can" and "always" because it saw anal in there.
Oh my god.
Or you
Oh.
talk about the cash items in the cash shop, and you get censored because it would see shit in there.
Yeah, I saw something in Warframe as well. They
Oh,
banned the word
crap. Yes.
trap.
Don't get me fucking started on Warframe's draconian chat filter. Oh my god. I've been
Which is
banned
funny,
for like 3
which is
weeks
funny
out of my
because
6 months.
oh, and the best part is I main Voban.
Oh dear.
I-
They don't ban boobin, so
it's a weird thing, but you know what?
I mean they used to be really draconian and ban people for saying the word trap, period.
they still do.
Yeah.
They don't ban you for saying trap now. It's just if it's used in certain context.
That's still
I
stupid.
I thought you still get I thought the kickbot still kicks you for it.
No, you can say it. It's just if you say certain things in the same sentence, it'll kick you for that.
What
Uh,
like Akbar style? It's a trap.
Yeah,
Seriously,
kick-
that will.
they'll kick you for that.
Jeez.
Oh, I could be really evil with that.
They banned the like one time there's somebody who had like a username Lolly Prime, so I typed their name into chat and fucking got kicked bot for that.
No kidding.
I'm not even shitting you.
Wow. Okay.
I got banned for a week for saying tranny once
Yeah.
because we were talking about Equinox.
Jesus Christ. Well, let's move from Battlefield 5. I mean, go woke, get broke. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So EA and the loot boxes. So for those who don't know, I watched I read several articles and several videos on this topic to get my the various takes on this. But basically, 16 countries within Europe, not the EU. Europe and EU are not mutually exclusive. So
Mhm.
you have, from what I remember, my country, Norway, Germany, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Czech, Switzerland, England,
Monaco.
I think, yeah, and a few other countries are basically band together and said after EA refused to remove loot boxes from FIFA, from Belgium's ban, because they completely banned. In Overwatch right now, you can't
Mhm.
get loot boxes, and they are basically saying, "What you gonna do?" And now you see the consequences. All of Europe is now basically, which is the biggest cash cow of EA is FIFA,
Mhm.
and that is the most retarded thing. Sorry, my language here, but that's the most retarded thing you could ever do with your biggest cash cow. Instead of fixing a few things, I mean, there was I talked about this a little bit earlier, but there was a guy here in Norway. He spent $10,000, I believe,
Yeah.
uh, to find out what do you actually get for buying the FIFA card packs, and
Mhm.
he after converting that into the market price on the auction house and real life money, he found out it was only 50% of what you put into the game is what you got back, and so it's even documented by goddamn scientists that EA is basically crapping on their consumers, and and how EA can even do this. I mean, EA is either really fucking stupid or so arrogant. It's probably both.
I have a much easier explanation. They don't care.
They really don't, which is ironic because this, from what I understand, a couple of these companies are looking at criminal uh, sanctions, which could result in jail time for executives.
Yes, and Belgium is now suing EA
Yeah, well,
because
and it's not only was it European Union, but the Attorney General of Washington State here in the United States joined in on that same
yes,
letter.
I was about to say that. So no, it's not only the Europe. Yesterday it came out that in the US, because first it was just Hawaii, where Chris Lee, I believe his name was,
Yeah.
proposed to ban loot boxes or at
Mhm.
least do something about them. Now it's Washington, which is a federal, I believe, a federal matter. If I'm not completely mistaken, especially anyway, it's now a much bigger case than it originally was. So
The
You could
thing
have
is,
stopped this.
yes,
I don't
You
think we
could
could
have
have stopped
stopped
this.
this.
I don't think we could have stopped this. Like this is something that's probably been in the works for a while. Uh I mean, the government is always looking for ways to regulate games, especially it seems, and especially with the recent the the sheer amount of mass shootings we've been hearing about, that it's just adding to the fire. Then you have
Well,
Gamergate, which
the most
leaked into
recent
the
shooting
main
was perpetrated by a woman.
I mean, then you have Gamergate, which leaked into the mainstream media, which also added fuel to that fire.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like, it was bad enough that video games were being blamed for something that they couldn't prove, but now they're blaming video games for other things that they can't prove. And then it's like, oh, well, this Gamergate thing happened. So obviously, video games are creating some type of culture where they feel the need to go to war with each other. So we need to step in and take the reins. But it's like, the last thing that we ever wanted for games was government intervention, and that's where we are. And companies don't seem to give a fuck when they're part of the problem. They're supposed to, like, we would we would defend them if they would stop pulling this stupid bullshit.
you know,
Yeah.
the funny thing is, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Battlefront 2.
Yeah, that's the irony in this whole thing.
You know, nobody would of these politicians would have given the slightest fuck if Battlefront 2 hadn't happened and the humongous backlash that it got because of the loot boxes.
People don't
Like,
care about FIFA, and rightfully so. The people that play FIFA are a bunch of idiots. Love you too,
yeah,
Andy.
I don't play
Oh,
FIFA, so it's
that's
not
right.
an
You play
insult.
Winning 11.
Yeah, PES, Pro Evolution Soccer. So
Yes. But the greed out of EA in their other franchises, they could have continued to make more than half of their income from Ultimate Team if they had left their other stuff alone. All they had to do was make 1313.
yeah, I mean,
But no, they couldn't even do that.
I don't know.
it's just I can see the snowball started rolling already from Battlefront, and now it's an avalanche that's coming, and EA is at the bottom of the mountain, uh,
Yeah.
and they're gonna get buried by this avalanche, and and they don't want to move. They don't
Yeah.
want to, and didn't want to prevent the avalanche from happening at all. Uh, they just said, "Oh, it's totally safe here. We're not gonna look out for the warnings and what everyone else is saying. We're just gonna stay here, even if and if something happens, that it's probably not gonna hit us. Like you had every opportunity to fix this, but you didn't because you're goddamn retard.
And now they're gonna ream EA, and we're gonna let them because this needs to happen. To be honest,
It's kind of, in a sense, it's kind of like what founded the ESRB back in 92, 90, 91, 92, 93, around that time. Like there was a definite need for video game ratings back then. And what was interesting between then and now was the government basically said, regulate yourself or we'll regulate you for you. And the industry stepped up and decided to regulate itself.
but now the
And
ESRB is just a shill cover for those industries.
and now the government is stepping in and regulating for them because they could not regulate themselves.
It's like we're back to square one all over again.
Yeah.
And if this shit keeps up with the politics, they're gonna start getting into that too.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have seen this a mile away, and it's just the thing is, I don't feel sorry for EA. I feel sorry for all the people and the developers under them.
Who are, because it's not going to be the executives that get shit on. It's going to be the rank and file.
Yes, it's gonna be the developers and the franchises that are gonna suffer.
Why do you think I'm so worried about Titanfall 3?
Yeah, if it's even gonna happen, because they basically sold they basically sold everything to EA. They got bought.
Yeah,
So they
Uh,
cashed.
they did. They really
yeah,
did.
Vince and Pella and what's the West guy,
Yeah,
David
the West
West.
guy.
Yeah, yeah, I can't remember. It's Vincent Pella and his co-owner West. Both of them ran Modern Warfare.
Mhm.
They're the ones that basically cashed out and sold their rights to the company to EA.
Mhm. Well, Zampella still works for EA.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
he's still he's
both of
still
them.
he's still in charge of Respawn.
Oh yeah, yeah, but they sold like the company to EA. So I mean,
Right.
now everything is gonna be under EA's management, and I don't
Mhm.
trust them at all. Like no one should trust EA. Like lately, just been posting a lot of YouTube videos to mines and with the tagline "Fuck EA," because there's nothing redeeming EA at this point. Why even buy EA products? I mean, it sucks
Mhm.
for the developers, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're giving EA the money and not the developers. They get them through EA. So
At this point, you might as well do what my buddy Russ, the Castle, did, and he left Digital Extremes. It was an amiable split. He wanted to do his own thing. He left Digital Extremes, and then went and started making his own game.
yeah, see,
And
see in the
it's
yeah, go ahead.
and now it's actually it's in Steam Early Access. And so I mean, it's not done, but it's actually a lot of fun. It's hard as hell too.
Yeah, see in the chat. Dragon Age and Star Wars: The Old Republic is what I am worried about. BioWare is cocked now and owned by EA. A dangerous combination, to be sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Star Wars: The Old Republic. I jump in from it time to time just to play the story, because basically played all the characters storyline through, and I just love the story in that game, because they really spent a lot of time going through the story. I mean, you can play it free to play and just go through the story and play it like an RPG. It's really a lot of fun, and yeah, I recommend that, and you can also there's also some DLC for that game, which is also really good.
All right, guys, I gotta go do some stuff, so I'm gonna dip out here.
Yeah,
Okie dokie.
we're gonna close down because we are at the 1 hour mark. So, and
Yeah.
we've gone through all of our topics at this point. I don't see anything in chat in regards to anything. I'm gonna wait a few moments if there's anything the chat wants us to talk about. Otherwise, we're gonna slowly close down the
Mhm.
stream.
Could
Here I
I
see.
chill for a moment if we've got a chance?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm little over a month away from Extra Life Game Day, which is going to be Saturday, November 3rd. I am doing a marathon session of Dance Dance Revolution, hence the name. Big surprise there.
Jeez.
To raise money for one of the local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Last year, I raised just shy of $1,200, and my
Nice.
Fitbit recorded a little over 12 miles worth of steps, which is about 19.3 kilometers.
Jeez. Yeah, that's a lot.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be live streaming the whole thing. Let me here, Andy. I will get you the link for that for my donation page. If you guys can chip in even $5, you can save a kid's life with that.
Yeah, it's not for you, and yeah, if anyone wants to
There you go.
get
I sent you
money,
the link. If you
yeah,
want to drop that into the YouTube chat or put that in the video description, every little bit helps. And the nice part is, if you go through this site, your payment is secured. I don't even touch the money at all. It goes straight to the hospital.
yeah, which is what I said. It's going to good cause, and I mean, it's in the end, I wouldn't take money to give to go through me to a charity.
Hmm.
Just give it to a good cause, and I mean, and it's in the description. There we go.
Perfect.
So if people want to donate and make someone's day, I would highly recommend you doing so. Uh, I don't see anything in the chat at the moment. No. Anyways, yeah, I think that's everything. We can close out on that. I know it's been a while since we had a stream. I'm gonna start making videos again. I haven't been coughing that much, but
Yay!
I've been drinking hot stuff and a little bit of alcohol to
There you
stop the
go.
coughing. So I'm 2 glasses in with whiskey, so
Ooh.
that probably helps a little bit. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna do my best to do these more regularly, as with DDR Freak also. It has to. If you want to join my server, the Discord server, I mean, you can jump onto these streams if you want to in the future. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. I mean, these streams are open to anyone. I've said this many times. So anyone in the chat want to do and jump on a stream with us too, more than welcome to. I try to get more people involved in the server chat, but it's not always as easy. But yeah, if
Some days
you
it's like herding cats.
yeah. I think that's for pretty much everything for shilling. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye bye.